What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? JT Best Ball here tonight. We got a special guest with us. I'm gonna go ahead and bring him in right now. We're gonna talk to him for a minute, introduce him. You probably already know who he is, and then we are going to hop into some BBM drafting. Mr. Hoohames, his link is in the description. I believe your channel is just Hoohames, right? There's no
Yeah.
fantasy.
On X, it's Hoohames underscore FF, and then it's just Hoohames on YouTube. That's what I got known as in the chats, so I just kept that name. I might eventually attach something to it, but I don't know.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, I know you're high on rice, so I don't know. I figured it'd be a pretty funny little thumbnail to throw together. See if you can
Yeah.
make me take him tonight.
I mean, I really like him, but I understand caution.
Yeah, and it's like I said, I forget whose chat we were talking in the other day on someone's stream, and I was like, I'm just kind of at like, if he's around ADP and I feel like
Yeah.
he's the best click on the board, I'd take him. I don't know how much percent I have over on DK where I was mostly drafting, but I definitely have him, and I'll take him here too.
I've gotten to where I don't take him every time because he's at an ADP that like I kind of want the other people to. But whenever he was going, like, I I just don't think there's a question between him and like JSN.
Hmm.
Like, and
I
JSN's
would
actually
agree with
moved.
that.
Yeah, and like JSN was going at the 2-3 turn for a long time, right? And
And I
Rasheed
wasn't
Rice was going
taking
to the 3-4 turn. I'm like, well, I'll just take like Rice in the middle of the round, like. And so I got a lot of my exposure to him at like 34, 32 or something.
Yeah,
So
that's nice, and I definitely would click him over JSN every time. But
yeah,
I'm not a JSN is good, but you've heard me talk enough about how I feel
yeah,
about Darnold, and if Milrow gets in there, I'm not. I don't think Milrow's throwing the ball a ton. So
right. But like JSN drew what I believed was one of the best matchups for Week 17. Like Carolina's defense isn't going to be massively improved. So like a team that I completely faded like got a matchup that I actually really like. So we'll see. Like I bet somebody in that game has a good week, like a really good week. But yeah,
yeah,
let's queue up. Sometimes these take a little while, especially at this time of day.
go for the BBM. You
Oh
okay
yeah,
with a 30-second clock?
we can do whatever. It's your account. We can.
I found that I I think on stream at least for now I want to stick with the 30-second clocks, especially when you got
Yeah,
a guest. Sometimes you get to talking and stuff. Me and Hartman did two drafts the other night. The eliminator we did 30 seconds, and then we did a 20-second BBM, and it went really smooth. And we actually liked the team overall a lot. But there was a late round pick where we were gonna take a third tight end, and I think Schultz was the top tight end on the board, and we were kind of debating between Chig and somebody else right below him, and my finger wasn't quick enough, and we got stuck
yeah,
with Schultz.
yeah. Well, and you don't know how our chemistry is going to be at first either. So like to work into chemistry between two people, like you have to like do the 30-second since we're going to do co-stream it, right? Or both me making picks and like to making decisions and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, of course,
So
of course.
and then like if I mean Typhel Tower, it's all about like them arguing, right? But if it was two people who stream with each other all the time, 20 seconds is probably just fine
Hmm.
because you know what they're leaning and like structure, like you agree on structures and stuff.
Yes,
And
that makes
like
a lot of sense.
yeah, so especially if you were bringing somebody on for the first time, like at every situation, unless it's like a gimmick that you're doing or something, like I think that's like bringing on a guest to run like a bunch of 10-second tournament. Like as last year they tried the 10 seconds, right? Like bringing
Oh,
on a
really?
guest to do the 10-second ones, just as like, hey, we're gonna try to get 3 10 seconds done in this hour. Like, like just come, like, and then we're just going to be arguing the whole time. Like that would be interesting.
I know you've been in the eliminators a lot lately, and I think from the little bit I've seen on your streams, it seems like you're kind of leaning like me in that if when you're in the back half of the round, do you generally like your teams better when you go with the position players, probably running back, first, then coming around in the second, or do you try to get one of those QBs even on the back end, or?
And eliminator or superflex.
And I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Superflex. I said the wrong thing. I was thinking
yeah. I
Superflex.
I figured. I'm tending to like them a lot more whenever I go to position players, and then like whenever it comes back around, like if as long as I get two quarterbacks that are like down to JJ McCarthy, like I'm not saying it feels awesome, but like I just finished one that I took. I was at the 11 and Jefferson was there, and I went Jefferson CMC because everybody took the running backs because I think everybody's finally catching on that the RBs are the thing to go. But I went Jefferson and then CMC, and then Dak Prescott made it back, and I took JJ McCarthy, and it came all the way back around. And like, I don't think this is a great thing to do often, but if you understand structure and draft capital, you can kind of get away with some things. But Travis Hunter and George Pickens made it back. So I got to stack up Dak with George Pickens, and I got Travis Hunter with Jefferson. So that allowed me to basically, I just took one more wide receiver over the next like 10 rounds. I had like three really late guys to just kind of
Mm-hmm.
fill in some bye weeks or something because the rest of my team was solid. And they actually let uh, Bryce Young come all the way back around. So, or not Bryce Young. They let a third. No, let me bring it up real quick. I'll just look at it. But it was pretty, it was pretty interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, for anybody out there who's watching, we are still waiting on four for a 30-second best ball mania. And let me post it in Pound's Discord.
Yeah, I'm posted over in Chase Liam's. He's got a little draft call out that sometimes people will hop in.
Yeah, man. Like I started using Chrome for best ball overlay, and Chrome runs so much slower than Firefox. Like so much
Yeah,
slower. Like I don't understand. Like I never understood why people like it, but man, like it's wild. Yeah. So Michael Penix is the one that came back around. So Michael Penix came all the way back around. So like this team turned out really good. Like it's Dak Prescott, McCarthy, Penix, Daniel Jones. I got him at ADP at 131. So since I didn't have stud quarterbacks, I went ahead and added a third or a fourth there for a guy who's probably going to start 8 weeks, right?
yeah,
And then CMC, Joe Mixon, Pacheco, Scatabo, Eckler, and Jarquez Hunter. Like a little weaker at running back than I generally am in Superflex, but it, I have a lot of wide receiver power because it's Jefferson, Travis Hunter, Pickens, Kyle Williams. And then at the end, I just added Adam Thielen, Ray McLeod, Tesla, and Ty Felton. I just added some stacks to my thing because like all the running backs die out, right? In
mm-hmm.
the Superflex for sure. And then I got two solid tight ends in Evan Ingram and Kyle Pitts. So like, because I think you can kind of just throw away tight end in this as long as you get two that are starters, right?
Yeah,
Almost like so. Like it was something I wouldn't recommend everybody to do very often, but Jefferson CMC feels pretty good. And then it came back around, and I was like, well, I just took two people, Dak Prescott and McCarthy. Like I was like, I have to take two quarterbacks so I don't get locked out, right? That's the only problem with doing it is if you Hey, thanks for stopping in, Meg.
Thanks for the sub. We appreciate it.
So, like, I mean, I guess I could just present this screen if you want.
hmm I mean, you can. Does it give you an option from your end? Again, I'm still
Yeah.
trying to learn. Okay. Yeah, sure, sure. Throw it up there. I'll keep an eye out on the
Um,
draft.
let me. There we go.
What's up, Mark? We see you in here.
There you
Hop
go.
into BBM.
And then I think now you just have to go to present, and it'll give you the option to present my screen
hmm
instead of yours.
Before presenting screen, remove. Ah, okay. Yes. Hold on. I just gotta remove mine. Add
Yep.
yours.
Yeah. So we'll just look at the board here. So, like, it came to me, and like, I think if I don't get one of those three, Gibbs, Bijan, Saquon, like, I'll take Jefferson over that. And like between Baker and Bo Nix, like I'm fine with them, and I'll take them sometimes over here. But
hmm
Jefferson CMC feels good, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, definitely.
And then it came back around, and Dak makes it back here 50% of the time. So like I ended up getting him back, and when he gets back, like George Pickens ADP is always right here, like I've taken him with Dak at 83 a couple times.
Yeah, that worked out
So
nice.
yeah, so I got the JJ, like I pulled him up over these three because I got the JJ stack, right? JJ
hmm
usually goes high or higher up the board. That's why his ADP is a couple down. So I ended up getting that double stack, and then got lucky and got Joe Mixon to fall all the way back to 59. Like I feel like that's a value there. So Joe Mixon and that, and generally I would recommend if you take Jefferson not to go more wide receivers. But I had a stack here and
hmm
Travis Hunter was like that's just a value at that point. Like he's the end of a giant tier, right? And if you have discipline and when that happens, you then just say, I can't take another wide receiver because the wide receiver is devalued in this. So I got three pretty good guys. So I didn't take another one for another what, 6 rounds? Yeah.
Yeah,
So like that, and where are we at? Are we still
yeah,
waiting on
yeah. I
two?
was just about to switch it over. No, the
Oh,
draft
sweet.
just started.
Nice.
Switch it over here. We are in the five hole. Who you like to go with five? You like
I
to
mean,
go Lamb?
I'm Bijan 102.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. I like Bijan
yeah,
too. I actually have started taking him some over Barkley, but I saw he already had went
yeah.
at
I
the
mean,
three right when I
it's
was saying
CD for
that.
me.
Me too. I agree with that. I'm him
And,
over Almon.
or I mean, I'm top six with Gibbs at six.
I kind of
I
mix it up there. Sometimes, every now and then, I'll take Almon, but yeah, most of the time, Gibbs over Almon. I mean, or Puka. I kind of mix it up really. Like I'm in on Gibbs, but I'm not trying. He's not like I don't take him all the time at the six. I find myself kind of mixing it up at 6 and 7 a little bit. I don't really take Jitty. I'm not one of those super in on Genty guys. Like I just, how many of the Raiders guys can we be so in on? I know some people say, Chip Kelly's gonna run it super fast and all
yeah.
that.
Well, it's an offense that's scary to fade 100%. So like
Exactly.
you, I'm not saying you need to be overweight Genty or Bowers, but like being under, like Bowers is like just because of the tight end value everywhere, like it's easier to fade. But like being under 4%, any like either one of those players is just a little scary. And it comes down to tolerance, right? Like, are you tolerant enough to deal with it or not? And
hmm
I mean, I think that, I mean, CMC's going to probably pass Genty now that everything's looking good. Uh, I I don't want to say that, but I think it could happen. Um,
I I agree with you. I think it's coming. I mean, it's slowly but surely happening, right? I mean, when
yeah.
it opened, CMC was constantly there in the early second,
The,
and
the
now,
the thing is, like, Brees Hall, Kenneth Walker, uh, Alvin Kamara, Chuba Hubbard, Joe Mixon, R.J. Harvey, all just such good values that like taking the wide
Hmm.
receiver just feels better
Oh, I agree.
in the end.
I I actually don't really like when I get like say six because normally CD's gone and Bijan's gone,
Yeah,
and I really
if you're
don't like the 6 to 9 hole. If I don't get a top five, I almost would prefer to be on that back end there, just
yeah,
for that reason. You
if
can
you don't
often
like
double tap
Gibbs,
receiver.
I totally get that. Um, I seen you had Almon at six. I like Almon's the one I chose to fade a little bit, which is funny
Hmm.
because he's also one of my highest owned players in Eliminator. So
Hmm.
because I like my thought on it is that Amon doesn't really have the reason to or the ability to be number one wide receiver for the year, and all of the other people have chance to be wide receiver one. So it's a less scary fade, right? Like it's not that it couldn't hurt you, but and I mean anything can happen in a 1 week sample, right?
Hmm. Coming back to us
Yeah,
here now.
and to
Um,
answer Mark's question, uh, I I was 100% out on CMC pre-draft because I mean we basically got lied to all last season. Who knows? Maybe we are again. Like it that's a possibility.
Not
Uh,
Shanny.
no, not Shanahan. Um, okay, so
I like Achan here a lot. If you're in on him, I'm
yeah,
open to other ideas though.
I'm Achan. Yeah, I'm definitely Achan here. The thing about the five spot is you get one of that tier, and I'm close to putting Bucky in that tier with Jonathan Taylor and Achan, and but yeah, I feel like there's a teardrop somewhere there, and I think it's either at Achan or Bucky, and like
Hmm.
that's one reason why the Saquon and Bijan picks at 3 and 4 feels so bad. Like I would almost prefer to like I wish the ADPs were a little different to where it went Jamar, Jefferson, CD, Puka, and then the running backs, because then you would actually have a chance to get wide receivers in the second round with the running backs. But that's not how it's going right now. So
I think of that little 3, 4, 5 group. I don't know, and it could come back to bite me. But so far, I find myself going Chase always at one. Most of the time, Barkley at two. The guy that like I just kind of realized the other day I have a tendency to fade, but I probably shouldn't. Right there in that early group is actually JJ. I don't know why. I do think he's the best receiver in football. I guess it's just, is the rookie really gonna be good? But then again, he did it with Sam Darnold last year, and I think Sam
he
Darnold is trash.
he did it with the Pastronaut. Like I mean, like how much more like belief do you need? The dude was an absolute baller with Josh Dobbs, like
Yeah, that's true. And I just said before I said it that he's the guy that I know I need to start taking more of.
yeah.
But I'm really in on Bijan this year, and you know me, like so. We'll talk about the rankings in a minute. They're really not mine. I go like back and forth between
Okay.
two people's.
So here I'm fine
I'm
with
guessing.
Tyreek, Rice, or McLaurin. Uh, if you want to get a stack with Tyreek, that's fine. If you want to go with Rice for a bring back, that's fine. We went CD. Rice and CD have the same bye week, I believe.
Mm, do they
So yeah, so
10?
we
Let's
could
go
do that.
Tyreek. You good with
Yeah,
Tyreek?
yeah, I'm good with that. Um, I've did Tyree or I've did uh, Rice and CD quite a bit. So and Tyreek has first round ability, right?
You know, I was talking about the Dolphins at the beginning of my video of my stream actually last night. You know, it's like sometimes I do feel we have too much recency bias, you know, in best ball. And like, yeah,
Yeah.
Waddle went to the sideline every other game last year, and Tyreek was at the end of the season talking about he's out and all that stuff. But they could very easily. It all depends on Tua, of course. If Tua's healthy, they could very easily come out and be the Dolphins of 2 years ago offensively. And if so, like, Waddle's really undervalued. Rice is, I mean, Hill is undervalued.
Honestly, myself, like, I don't find myself getting to Tyreek as often as I should. And I really need to start doing it more because that's like my second favorite game in week 17 is the Bucks Dolphins.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's gonna be a nut game
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
like
It's gonna be
you
crazy.
tell me Tyreek doesn't have an opportunity to go for 30 that week, like somebody like Achan or Tyreek, one of them could absolutely go for 30 that week. The Bucks defense did not get much better. They were really bad last year, and their offense, they just added weapons. like I mean, it's most likely going to be a shootout. It is in Miami. Is it? It's well, it's in Florida, one way or another, right?
Yeah.
I think
Let
it's
me see if I
at
can find
Tampa.
it up here.
I have it
Where
up.
they?
Let me
It's
look.
in Miami.
Okay, it's in Miami, which is
Yeah.
further south, so it'll be even warmer. Uh, so yeah, and so like the only reason I would have entertained McLaurin there is to try to hope for the Week 17, right? With
Mm-hmm.
bringing Jaden Daniels, and Jaden Daniels went, but I mean, I'm super happy with either one of these top two options. Like,
We're on the clock now, and I
yeah,
I don't have a strong feeling on any of these guys. I kind of like
I mean, we
Hampton.
got
I don't.
a 8 pick value on Lamar.
You want to take him?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm good with Lamar. I didn't
Like
know how
this,
you were on the early quarterbacks,
I
but yeah, you're right. He
Lamar's
is.
Lamar's my 101 or not my 101. He's my number one quarterback. And what this does as well is it'll allow us to we'll probably push whatever the next quarterback is, right?
Flowers might flip around to us.
Yeah. And I don't get to a lot of Flowers, but he's starting to go in the middle of the second, which is ever since the big boards where I've said he needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fine taking Lamar. Like if we can get
There he goes. So
yeah, he goes. But my two, like, I honestly much prefer Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman with Lamar myself. Like,
mm-hmm.
and I know Steve Shoop, Meg's brother, also agrees with that. I've said that the whole time. He's always said that. But Andrews had a touchdown in like almost, it was like 9 of 10 games or something in a row. It was something nutted last year.
All right, we're back up here. We
Dude,
got a couple running backs at the top. Ridley, what are you thinking? Receiver? You want to grab another running back and then chill for a while?
I
Keep
think we
hitting
go with the running
receiver.
back. Either Mixon,
Mixon.
Harvey, fine. Either one's fine.
You know what? I kind of like Mixon.
Okay. Yeah, I,
Not because
I,
I'm the Texan fan. I just because I do follow him closely. I think our defense, man, this year is going to be like
yeah,
really freaking good. I mean, Miko
I,
had them boys playing good at the end. They brought in Gardner Johnson for that other safety spot to put with the young guy
yeah,
Bullock.
I prefer Mixon as well of that group. Uh, the Dolphins are what bye week? Are they an 8?
The Dolphins 12.
12. Okay, good. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because I know Mixon was they're one of the ones I haven't quite remembered yet. So yeah, we look fine. And the great thing about Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen is the two elite quarterbacks. They're the only two on bye that week. So
Mm-hmm.
like you can stack them with anyone.
Exactly, yeah. And me, the way I play it, especially over here on Underdog, and I don't know, I'm still trying to tweak my strategy for Underdog because I've said it before. The last 2 years, I played pretty much probably 90% of my volume on DraftKings, so it is a little different just structurally and
Yeah.
stuff. But if I have a Lamar or I have Allen, I'm definitely keeping it at a two QB team myself and just grabbing a backup who I'm okay with later in the
Yeah.
draft. It,
Yeah, I mentioned like we have the opportunity to push, right?
mm-hmm.
Uh like Tua goes before Bryce Young or Geno Smith and some of the other guys. And like we don't have to stack our second guy. It would be nice. Now, if like a falling Dak or something happens, like that's great. But
Mm-hmm.
like if there's a falling Dak and then a falling Tua, like there's no reason not to get both either.
Yeah,
Like especially with the second one being a double stack, and that's kind of what I was thinking is like if we take a second one before Tua, like sometimes if the Waddle drafter ends up having a couple uh, quarterbacks before then, they may not want a third, and you can get them at like 180, and there's almost no risk there. Are you okay with Jerry Judy or
I am.
Pearsall? Okay,
Or
I,
who?
or Pearsall or Jacoby Myers or any of them.
I only really, I like taking Jacoby if I have neighbors, just because it's kind of like, my
Yeah,
zig when everyone's zagging with the neighbors Bauer stuff. But I'm okay with Judy. Somebody's got to catch the ball, right? We don't know
yeah.
who's going to throw it, but
I mean, he did
somebody's
lead
got
the
to
league in
catch it.
drops, but yeah, but I
But
mean,
he's going to get the targets, damn
yeah,
it.
he's gonna catch some balls. Like that's gonna happen, right?
I think I like him over Jacoby simply because he's gonna probably be their number one target earner in that offense. Whereas Jacoby is definitely slotting in behind Bowers. They're gonna obviously be wanting to try to run Genty a lot. How much are they gonna throw to Genty?
Yeah, yeah. I Judy's a click. Like there's several clicks that I want to get to more, but like it's very hard for me to find the Laporta click in that group.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't click him much either. If I have Gibbs, sometimes I'll try to get Laporta. If
you,
he's around ADP or
you
whatever.
mind scrolling through the team real quick?
Yep, yep. We have Lamar, we have Achan and Mixon at running back,
And then three.
CD,
Okay.
Hill, and Judy so far at receiver.
All right.
Probably another receiver though here, huh? Is what I'm kind of thinking. I mean, we got
I mean, I have my eye on a specific person.
okay. We'll hear it when we get there.
Yeah. No, and I think you'll agree.
It might be the same guy that I'm kind of thinking.
It probably is. Like, I think there's a very obvious pick for us. I mean, falling Demont is always interesting, but I don't know that that's best for us. Yeah. Like, if the guy I want goes, like Demont would probably be fine.
I'm not super high on him, but that's one thing about when you stream with somebody. You want to go
Yeah.
ahead and take him for the value.
Yeah. 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 I mean, the only thing that could have happened there was double tap Green Bay receiver right before us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I think that's fine. Wide receiver does tend to kind of dry up here, but this gives us our third,
Running back.
yeah, our third running back. Now,
They
and
all got
all
different
alternating
buys. Not that
buys because
I was just about to say that.
yeah.
N-
So like that's a really good starting three, and we can, now we just need to slap in a tight end somewhere, and then probably take the three or four wide receivers in a row, or like kind of like by
Mm-hmm.
the next 7 rounds, take four more receivers or something. You know,
Mm-hmm.
definitely one in the next round or two as well. But there's a
Montgomery
player
is
that
Oh,
go ahead.
go ahead. Sorry.
There's a player coming up in the next round that's been slowly moving up the board that I'm definitely have been moving up my rankings. I didn't get enough of him at the beginning of this. Whenever he was lower, I wasn't sure, but there's been good camp reports on him. And yeah, Ayuk, I am actually in, but it requires you to, like for me, it requires me to already have had four solid receivers. If he's my fifth wide receiver, I really like it. If he's my fourth wide receiver, if I went like round one and two wide receiver, then I'm okay with it. Like we don't know when he's gonna play. So I want to make sure I can at least supplement if he does miss 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, I was just about to say I'm actually out on him for that reason, just because. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, he could be a smash late, but I don't know. I just wonder
I
how
mean,
much his head's even really in it. Because last year when he was healthy, he still wasn't even really playing that well.
yeah, but like, I mean, everybody thought he was just lying about the holdout stuff with the injury. Maybe he was actually hurt, right? Like,
True, true,
because he
true.
he never really looked like himself when he played either. So I I think there's a
If you're not opposed to it, Hawkinson's one of my favorite clicks. You want
that's
to take
fine. Yeah, yeah, we could do that.
the value on him, grab our tight end we think
Yeah,
we can count on.
and yeah, and it's a bring back.
Hmm.
We took
So
Demont,
I've been saying
and
it a lot. I
you
don't
don't
know if
you're good.
go ahead. Oh, I
Uh,
was just saying, Kittle and Hawkinson. I've been targeting them a lot because I have not been in this year on Bowers and McBride unless I'm like where we're at now or the six hole. If Bowers really falls to an there, I'll take him because I figure then at least I have Bowers paired with somebody different than where he normally goes.
yeah,
McBride I hardly ever take because even if he falls, he's here and he's still with that
yeah,
same first round player. So I've been really liking to take either Kittle or Hawkinson because I feel like those two guys are good value, but at the same time, when we get to the playoff weeks, either one of those could easily, go toe to toe with Bowers or McBride in a one game situation and even possibly outscore them.
yeah. So we did get kind of boxed out at wide receiver now, um, because like Keon Coleman just went. Like that's high for Keon Coleman. I think we have to pull up Bateman if nobody takes him. Uh,
Just to
like
make sure we have somebody on there. I
either that or we take the upside in Trey Harris.
I
Like
was
I
just
don't.
about to say if I
Yeah,
didn't
we
have
could do that.
Lamar,
We could go
we
ahead
could
and do
all
that. Like we don't have to stack Lamar.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you can go without him. We could always
Yeah,
get really nasty too and throw D
yeah,
Hop
yeah.
on at the end.
I I would rather not, but we
You know
can.
what? Let's take Bateman. Let's take Bateman
Okay.
just because. Because in this situation here, when I need another receiver for my fourth at about this point in the draft, if it wasn't Lamar, I would always click Harris over Bateman.
Yeah.
So
So
since we have Lamar, it makes more
the
sense.
the only reason, so the two V, I like after seeing what happened, the 2v2 I would have actually preferred would have been Josh Downs or Jaden Higgins and Mark Andrews versus Bateman and Hawkinson.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't
Okay.
know how the board was going to play out because like Downs randomly will fall into the middle of the ninth, right? And we could have got both. So, and Hawkinson at ADP is a very good pick. And you said you don't get to Demont very often, and I mean that is a bring back.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was a good pick on this team. It's just we definitely
I,
have to come back a wide receiver.
oh yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. Um,
Yeah,
I have a
Mark's
hard
not it.
time with I have a hard time with Downs.
It like the thing is
Can
he's a
always grab likely.
fantastic receiver. I mean,
He is with
where
the
would he be?
quarterback.
Where would he be going if he was on the Packers? You know,
A lot higher.
like he'd probably be their unquestioned. Like I don't know, maybe he's their unquestioned one. Like since they had a Golden, maybe that's a bad example, but like where would he? Let's go with the Cardinals. Like if he was on the Arizona Cardinals, where would he be going? Like
Oh, I agree. Quite
like
a
I
bit
think he'd be
higher.
going up there where Jaden Reed and Jacoby Myers and all them are going easily
Hmm.
because he would actually perfectly complement what they need there.
The thing I think that scares me away from him is the type of receiver he is in the areas of the field in which he works
Yeah,
in. And I do think that they will give Anthony Richardson a longer leash than what they're leading on, just because if they go to Daniel Jones, then people are getting fired, right? Like your
yeah.
fourth overall pick a couple years ago. So
I
he's going to have every chance, and that's where he struggles with the
I
most.
I believe that for a while. I'm starting to believe that less and less. Like, I mean, if Daniel Jones goes in and Anthony Richardson doesn't really play, but they win 10 games, like, can you really like? Do you think people are going to get fired? Like, I mean, if like they have some pieces, yeah, I think we smashed Rashid Shaheed here.
I about to
Like,
say I like
yeah,
both of the top two on the board, and I like Shaheed better over Kirk.
yeah, I really like Shaheed.
Me
That
too.
was the luck we needed to try to come back a little bit at wide receiver whenever we took several little detours first, but
Mm-hmm.
and now we're actually in that 1-3-5-1 that
Mm-hmm.
was the top advance, like the top advance rate last year through 10. So
Okay. And
it's
see,
it,
just looking at the board, like, that's what's cool about doing drafts with somebody. Because, like, just knowing my strategy or just kind of knowing me, like, I totally would have probably went with maybe a Golden or a Reed. Well, no, they were gone, I guess. No, not Cup. I
I
don't
mean
know what I did. I might
we
have did
we
even, like, Diggs there over Montgomery.
we absolutely would have taken the bring back
Mm-hmm.
on Green Bay. That's why I wanted one of those two
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
was thinking Golden because I kind of like him over Reed
yeah. I mean,
myself,
I
but
have 17% golden, so like
okay, we weren't
I'm
thinking the same
yeah,
guy then.
and I'm always like I I do need to click read some like, but I don't. And I think any of those three receivers, like if any of the, well, I guess Best just went, but if one of those two receivers is there, I think we just take them. Uh,
Hmm.
Kirk and Hollywood. I prefer
I agree.
Hollywood. I don't, but we do have Joe Mixon, so there's a little team correlation. But click quarterback real quick. Dak's still there.
Dak's still there. We could go ahead and get him and just leave it
I
at a two QB team to help give us a little more firepower at
Yeah,
receiver
I
later.
think we go ahead and take Dak, and this opens up like we could push like like we could definitely still take Tua, but I'm not going to say we need to. But if he falls to 170, like there's no reason to not do it. Let's look and see what the
Yeah,
Waddle drafter is doing.
what is his age? Yeah, 150s definitely if he goes that far.
Yeah, if he drops 2 rounds, like I've got a couple teams like that with him. Like so, the Waddle drafter I think was in the six
The
hole,
six hole
or
right there behind us. They just
they
took
have
Herbert.
one. So they'll probably take him, but that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not in a situation we need it, and I kind of prefer the Dolphins players unstacked anyway. And Dak also opens up another stack with like Ferguson if we want to go
Ferguson.
that
Yeah, I
route,
was about to say we could
or
do Ferguson as another tight end.
we could go Jalen Tolbert or my boy Cavante Turpin at the end. Uh, I know not many people like him, but I just think like if your team is fully built out and you have a bonus pick, Turpin's one of those
Mm-hmm.
players I like if I have Dak. Like if you like sometimes with that last pick, you still need like you feel like you need something still. And other times you feel like your roster is really good and you have something to play with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in that situation, that's whenever I'll take a guy like Turpin.
We can see if he falls a lot. Me personally, like with the Dak and Lamar, I would be more tempted, honestly, just to, just stick with them, even if it's, throwing a third tight end on or just, adding that extra receiver since we did get a little behind early. I guess
And
I'm not opposed to it if he really dropped to like the 170s or something.
click ADP real quick and then wide receiver. Um,
I'm not normally super high on him, but we could go Tillman just because we already have Judy too. So, kind of sticking with the
uh,
theme. Or
could
anybody that you really like here? I'll tell you
yeah,
who I like too, but I know you
I
don't. Leggett.
uh, well, I
But
think
we
we
could
just
probably get
take
him to come back.
Palmer or Tillman is fine. Probably
Let's
Palmer
Palmer. Sure, why not? He's
because
attached to a good
well,
offense.
yeah. So we have 2 bye week 7s now and 2 bye week 10s. If we took Tillman, we would have had 3 bye week 10s.
Okay, okay, yeah. I
Oh
guess
no,
I didn't really.
no, never
No, no,
mind.
no, 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 no. Judy
That's
is
my bad.
9.
That's my bad. I thought Cleveland was by week 10. I couldn't see that.
Hmm.
That's fine though. Like we kind of like having a floor play there is perfectly fine.
Hmm. I
And
was just kind of, I don't love Tillman. I was just like kind of thinking, well, we got Judy. You know how it goes. If there's a game Judy really struggles, maybe it's because Tillman caught a long touchdown or something.
right, right. Uh, I since we already have the two quarterbacks and we don't have any Pittsburgh, like I don't want to like I don't know. I feel like double stacking the Browns if you're not going to take the Pittsburgh side or the Cleveland side doesn't feel the best. I could be wrong.
No, I get it. I guess, me. So I definitely try to stack my week 17s here and there, but I'm also kind of like, we got to have the team that gets there first,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm just kind of thinking it's late enough in the draft where like sometimes I like having that other receiver even on a crappy offense, just because
Yeah.
okay, if my Judy didn't come through that week, maybe it was because Tillman did.
Um.
What are you thinking here? We got six receivers now. We caught up a little
We
bit.
we need
We
a
could
running
get
back
another running back.
because we still only have three, right? And they dry up
Mm-hmm.
real fast. So either Rashad White or Algier. It's up to you.
Rashad White or Algier. You know what? I have caution on Bucky, and so we'll take
And
White.
yeah, White's actually the right
And
call.
it's a Miami thing.
Yep, yep. That's what I was getting ready to say. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. And
And
like,
I just feel like White's still going to be involved more than people think he is. I think a lot of Bucky is to me is being drafted as though he is going to. I know at times down the stretch last year he was, but I just don't know if they're really going to do that over the whole course
I,
of the season.
Bucky needs to get better at pass blocking to be a three down back. So there's that. Like
Mm-hmm.
now, if it's third and short, he's probably in there. But on a third and five, that's probably Rashad White time.
Mm-hmm.
Rashad White is a fairly good pass blocker. So yeah, and
What is up,
hey,
Tyler?
what's up, sir? Thanks for
Thanks for
stopping in.
joining. We are in here in the BBM streets trying to win $2 million.
Yeah, and
Scroll down a little bit
like
on that.
now there's a player that you have ranked way over everyone else. Don't like, yeah.
You
And
talking about him? You know.
if he comes back around, like I'm actually okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
But we also don't have a ton of upside at that position right now.
Mm-hmm. No, actually, I don't like these rankings all that much. The more that I use them, so I kind of go back and forth most of the time. I'm pretty sure the other night I loaded up old Chess Liams from BeatBestBall.com or whatever,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure that's what I have in here now. I don't really take the time, honestly, to make my own rankings or something like that
Okay.
because I have it in my head, I guess you could say. Like I'm
Yeah.
down on Dobbs. Like I don't really like Dobbs that much. I try to target, like we were talking
Me-
about earlier, either Golden or then Reed.
I mean, this could end up being an eight wide receiver team, and I'm okay with Savion Williams or Dontavian Wicks in the last round
Mm-hmm.
as a bring back. So,
I
so
think with I don't think
there's
we have anybody on stream. So like, oh, never mind. I was just about to say, likely was
yeah,
getting at a
there's
pretty
one
dang
other
good
player that
discount.
would be really good for us. And I mean, Tillman's still there.
Yeah.
So like if we go Tillman as well, like that means that the earlier pick was right.
Yeah.
But
I like either
we
Tillman or
could
if we go. Oh, go ahead.
Zach Ertz is a bring back to the Dak Prescott
To the
CD land.
Dak Prescott.
So like either Tillman or Zach Ertz, like whichever one you prefer. I
We'll go
think
Zach Ertz.
I think locking that up makes a little more sense.
Yeah, for the week 17 stuff, you're right. And like I said, in a nutshell, I don't love Tillman. I was just
Yeah,
earlier thinking it because we did need a receiver at that pick, and who did we end up taking?
Josh Palmer, who
Yeah, see.
I'm not actually that big on Josh Palmer, honestly,
Hmm.
but he does have a role, and like I think adding him allows us to take bigger swings at the end
Hmm.
as well. I'm assuming
Yeah,
Tua did go.
chaperone.
Yeah, I'm assuming Tua did go. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
he's
mean
gone, which
we're
is fine. I
perfectly
would
fine. I would
rather
rather
just
actually.
keep it
Yeah.
to.
So what do you think?
Um,
Do you think we should take one more running back and then just finish out with?
maybe let me see. Do we
Yeah.
have a week? Yeah, I'm okay with that. I kind of like
Right.
Braylon here, if you do, or Shipley,
Yeah.
either one. Who's your
I'm
favorite out
fine
of
with
the
any of
two?
those top three. So Braylon's fine.
Let's go Braylon.
Yeah. He also week 9, right?
He's also week 9, but
Right.
that's the
Yeah.
week we can probably afford to have two because we'll still have Achan, Mixon, Montgomery,
Right. So we got Achan, Mixon, Montgomery, Rashad White, and Braylon Allen. Like
Braylon
that
Allen.
is perfectly fine for for a room. And now we have like we just tack on some wide receivers here, take some
Hmm.
upside shots.
Yeah, because I mean I said it
Like,
early in the draft. Just stick with Lamar and Dak. We got C.D. Hill, Judy, Bateman, Shaheed, Palmer, Zach Ertz, and Hawkinson. I wouldn't mind throwing a third tight end on, maybe with our
yeah,
last round pick if
I
there's
think
nothing else we like.
I think 2583 feels pretty good for this. So because we got our two quarterbacks, so we got our like, and I agree. Like a third tight end's probably fine. Like probably what we need on this.
Hmm.
So
And
yeah,
there's some decent ones that are around there. That's kind of one of my favorite picks in the regular style tournaments on Underdog. Because I don't take a lot of Milrow in this. I was taking him a lot in DraftKings just because whatever we got the extra picks and I can get him in the 19th round, and he's
yeah,
a major target of mine in that super flex. But I'm less likely to take him in this format, and I feel like there's some tight ends in the last round normally that you're going to get some points from them. You know that they're going to be on the roster playing at this time of year in May at least, whereas a lot of the guys in that 18th round, we don't even know for sure if they're going to be playing.
yeah, absolutely not. And I would think we just take our third tight end in the very last round. There's a
That's what I was
couple like,
saying.
yeah, like nobody ever takes Harold Fannin, and this is a team that could support somebody like that that'll be low owned. Like I'm not saying he's the guy to take, but like we could take a guy like that. We could take like Terrence Ferguson because we don't have to worry about the early season, right? We could
Mm-hmm.
take. I mean, Arroyo is just a great pick. Uh,
Mm-hmm. I kind of like taking, even if I don't have Bryce, and this might be a decent team. Oh no, we got Rashad White. Then yeah, Tampa plays Carolina. Who
uh,
does
Ta-
Carolina play again? Week
Tampa,
17.
Carolina plays
Seattle.
Seattle. Yeah,
Yeah, I was talking about week 16 though. I
yeah,
only I don't just look at the week 17. Sometimes I like to look at the whole playoff thing in general. I don't think it
yeah.
was one of the charts I found on your thing. I think I found it on Twitter, but the chart I normally have pulled up here is it
I
kind of
have
shows
all of them. So
you
Tampa's
have the one where it shows
Atlanta,
like the
Carolina,
implied
Miami.
odds and stuff for the
I just
playoffs.
made one. Okay,
Ah,
so we need upside here. I mean, Darius Slayton is a really good pick.
yeah, I was gonna say either him or I still like taking Keenan Allen too, but I'm fine with
Uh, we
Slayton. We can go him
we I've been cooling off on Keenan. Like, if you
because we
want, we
don't
can.
know.
Well, I keep saying this, and nobody ever has an answer to it. Everybody's talking about how he's going to sign somewhere. He's going to sign somewhere. The last time he said anything was, I only want to play for the Bears
They or the
or,
Chargers.
and nothing else has been said. Like, and I keep asking people,
That
what
is a
have you
really good
heard?
point.
Like, what have you heard? Like, he said he's fine retiring if he doesn't get to play for one of the two teams that has let him play for him. So like,
That is a really good point.
so like earlier, I was kind of in on him some, and I have probably 5%, but I don't want to stack him up. Like, I don't want to just have a ton of him
Hmm.
because, like, I mean, if he signs, he's a great pick, but he could just absolutely be a zero with no chance. So
Hmm.
another Tutu Atwell is a pick with a bunch of upside. This is where we could take Wicks as well if you want Wicks or Savion Williams, one of those two. If you'd
I like
prefer
Wicks.
Savion, yeah,
Let's take Wicks.
yeah, that's fine. Take Wicks. I was gonna say if
He's a
you
bring
prefer
back.
Savion, we would just go tight end here, and then Savion never gets drafted. So
I
yeah,
don't.
like
I'm Wicks. I like Wicks.
I do too. So go ahead and scroll up a little because you're not at the top. Oh, we were at the top.
Yeah, we're
Like
at the top of tight ends.
I've made several picks like being scrolled down. I'm like, why is nobody here? Like, oh no, I'm an idiot. That's why nobody's here. Like, yeah. I
Yeah, I wouldn't mind any of those. Ferguson, I still take Johnson some. I'm with you
Jawan
on
Johnson's a
Aurora.
great pick. He really
Hmm.
is.
Especially this year, at least to start the year, it sounds like Tayson's going to be all banged up and stuff. Which,
Taysom had
when
a
he's,
torn ACL.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
He's
But he's
30.
supposed to be back somewhat into the year, I think, isn't
Yeah.
he? I'm
He's
not saying
30.
I want
Yeah.
Taysom. I'm saying when Taysom's there, he takes away from Johnson a little bit.
Right. He's 34.
Yeah.
Like, I actually took a little bit of Taysom Hill in the uh the little board too because he started being drafted all the time, and then by little board two he had no AD, like he was beyond ADP.
Hmm.
So it's actually a leverage play, and it was 20 rounds. So if my team was solid, I took a couple shares. Like, I think I had like 2 shares of them or something. Like, I'm
Hmm.
not saying it's a great thing to do, but it was like a 4 tight end build with Taysom Hill tacked on at the end of it.
Hmm.
We're on a
Those
team that,
oh, go ahead, finish. Sorry.
no, just on a team that felt really good other than that. And like, it's like I didn't, my first tight end was K Dotton. It's like, maybe I
Hmm.
want some upside. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, that's one thing that this year I dabbled in it a little bit over on Underdog. I mean on DraftKings because they had one. But next year I definitely plan on doing yeah, a good amount of the big board stuff. Just because I never really, you know, got into it before I got into streaming. I would always kind of wait. The last 2 years I kind of waited until after the draft and everything, and just hit the normal tournaments pretty heavy over there on DraftKings. But yeah, now that I'm streaming and everything, it makes for good content and stuff too. So I'll
Yeah.
definitely be looking forward to playing some of those next year.
Full DGen is the only mode. Like,
I'm getting there. I'm getting there
yeah.
slowly but surely.
Yeah.
All right, we want to do Johnson like we talked about.
Yeah. Juwan's
Week
great.
11, I don't think that mixes with anything. Yeah, 6,
No.
12, 11. We'll always have two of them
And,
ready to go.
and like Tyler Higbee's a click that nobody ever makes that is perfectly fine. Like, I prefer Juwan Johnson, but Higbee, if I'm adding Higbee on teams that I take like Colston Loveland quite a bit
Mm-hmm.
because we don't know if he's going to be healthy, right?
Yeah.
So, and we know that we pretty much know that Higbee's going to start the season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I can't get there with him. They also have, which I know they had Cup before too, so they had two receivers. But with Devontae there, Cup was banged up so much the last couple of years. But if Devontae's healthy and Puka's healthy, how much role is there really for the tight end? But we are talking about the 18th round, so I probably should click him
Right.
some. I just can't do it. I'll
No, I get
recap the
it.
team for everybody real quick. We finished with a 2-5-8-3. Lamar and Dak as our two quarterbacks. Running back room of Achan, Mixon, Montgomery, White, and Braylon Allen. Receivers, we started with Lamb and then Hill, Judy, Bateman, Shaheed, Palmer, Slayton, and Wicks at the end. And we finished with the three tight ends, Hawkinson, Ertz, and Johnson. Overall, I like it. It's pretty good. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like spectacular, but it is well built.
Yeah.
It is
Uh,
very well built. And I don't know. I have a hard time like looking at a team that I took Jerry Judy on and being like, this one's fire. Like
yeah, I didn't
I
say fire.
yeah, like
I feel you on that.
but like he absolutely can have smash weeks, and
Mm-hmm.
they had zero at quarterback the entire year last year. Kevin Stefanski is a really good coach. So
Mm-hmm.
if and it's not like they have anything great at quarterback this year, but sadly, Kenny Pickett may be an upgrade. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
or whoever is there. Like I
You know, and it's all about getting lucky too. Like the weeks that
yeah.
Judy doesn't do anything, Bateman could catch his touchdown and 80 yards that week, or Shaheed could kind of be going off for us.
I mean, the strength of this team will come if Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like we have CD
exactly.
Tyreek, and then we also have an elite quarterback, right? So like it's a really good team, but like at no point do we get like a major ADP value to make it feel like insane. But
Mm-hmm.
it is very sturdy. Like
That
it,
likely pick would have been nice. He was, I think,
it
getting close to like 20 something pass, and then somebody had
and
took him
it
like
was
right
it
before
was
us.
one pick before us, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I the only like there were two spots that like the 2v2 was kind of weird, and we may have made the right call, may not have. Uh, the Hawkinson thing, like I think Hawkinson's the right call to try to push one of those guys. It didn't work out,
Mm-hmm.
but then like the Josh Palmer, like maybe instead of taking him, just taking uh likely, but I th- I think I like the Ertz over likely anyway with our team since
Okay.
I don't know like maybe, but I'm pretty big on Zach Ertz, so yeah, Mark's right. Like it has potential. Like
Mm-hmm.
and David Montgomery as running back three is pretty solid. And
Yeah, no, no. I mean,
if we hit
even with
on any of
Gibbs,
those receivers, like those last two receivers, like our team's pretty solid.
yeah,
Like
because even with Gibbs there, Montgomery's gonna have his games, where they got a lead and they're just content at the end of the game with pounding it up the rock. And you know how it is when you're the Gibbs owner, you hate it because Montgomery ends up with 88 yards and two touchdowns, because
it,
they had a lead and we're just pounding the rock with him.
nobody talks about this, but like everybody's always like, well, what's Gibbs going to do if Montgomery gets hurt? Well, what's Montgomery going to do if Gibbs gets hurt?
I was saying that last year.
So
It
like
didn't happen, but
if Gibbs gets hurt for like, let's say that the Lions have 11 wins by week 16 and Gibbs is like questionable and they can't get they're like locked into a 5 or 6 seed, right?
mm-hmm.
Like why would they rush him out? Why not let him get healthy and put Demont out there? And then you have just Demont in a week 17 game versus the Vikings. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not saying that that's likely or anything, but anything is possible in this. And if any running back is the solo running back for that team, it's probably going to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
yeah,
real
no,
quick, I know why I got you on here. I know you got to run. I wanted to ask you before I let you off because I heard you say you were really down on Leggett on your stream. I think it was yesterday when I was taking my girls to practice, and I'm actually really in on him this year at cost. So I was just curious to hear your bear case on him.
no, I mean, they took another wide receiver in the first round.
That's
They
exactly why I'm in on him though because I feel like with Ted there he's gonna have a lot of freedom on that other side to just be big and
and
fast and go make plays downfield.
And honestly, like Jalen Coker just outplayed him at every level last year. Like that's most of it. Like so, and I mean, I would have to actually research into this, but it felt like watching the games that Bryce Young, when he got into a rhythm, it was more looking like it was when Coker was doing well instead of Leggett.
Hmm.
So let's look at a player profiler real quick, and because Bryce had a bunch of really good games in the last few weeks, right?
Hmm.
Uh, and so the game log for Coker, uh, I guess it was 50-50. We'll look at Leggett. So like Leggett was never fully healthy either. We don't hear anything about Leggett, right?
Hmm.
And he's just continually falling. I maybe it's the wrong move to not take him, but if they're continually falling, I'm gonna let them fall until they stop falling, and then I'll take some. Like he was at like 185 in one of my drafts the other day.
Oh wow, Leggett was
Yeah, yeah. So like
interesting.
I mean maybe I'm mixing it up and it was a super flex or something, but I don't think it was. I mean, I've done all kinds of content or contests. So yeah, so at the end of the year, whenever Bryce Young was doing good, week 10, so this is 10, 12, 13,
Hmm.
14, 15, 17, 18, and full point PPR, Leggett was 7, 9, 9, 5, 2, 7, 6. And Coker had a 20-point game, maybe two 20-point games in there. Uh,
Hmm.
he had, okay, week 15, he was out from 11, 12, and 13, 14. 15, he had 21, and then he had 2, 5, and 14. So it was hit or miss. But
He
Coker had,
definitely outplayed him last year. I'm not arguing,
yeah,
that point at all. I just feel like he has the draft capital, so they're gonna give him one more chance. He's gonna start the year kind of, if they're in three wide receiver sets, at least at the beginning of the year, it's gonna be Leggett, Old Man Thielen, and the rookie. I feel like, and I just feel like I think going from like, hey, you were drafted to like, be our number one receiver, you're where the defense is focusing on, versus now this year, that defense is going to be more so focused on the new, even higher drafted Ted. He's got all the hype. And so I just feel like that's going to free Leggett up a lot to, just kind of be athletic and go make plays
yeah.
essentially. So I don't like overdraft him. I don't go like, reaching for him or anything. But when I need it, especially on teams where like I need a receiver who's more of that spike week late round receiver type that I'm looking for, because I don't think he'll be like a consistent smash all year, but because of how I think maybe they'll allow him just to use his size and speed, I think he'll definitely have a few weeks throughout the season where you get some really nice spike weeks out of
I mean, it all really comes down to, does Adam Thielen finally get old?
him.
Like, if
Well,
Adam
see, I think
Thielen,
that affects Coker
I don't
myself.
think, I kind of think that if Thielen finally gets old, then both of them are going to be good picks, right?
Yeah, yeah. If
At
he
their
gets old,
ADP.
if he takes over the full time slot, and I could definitely see Coker in the slot with Leggett on one side and Ted on the other
I,
side. And
I have 20 some percent Bryce, but only like 5% Leggett. Uh, like I'm not completely out on him. Like I do want some. Like the biggest problem is that Leggett was the same ADP as as Bryce, so it was just really hard to stack unless you were on a turn,
hmm
right?
yeah,
And Thielen and Coker are very easy to backstack. So like you either have to like I forced a stack or two to where like I brought Bryce up to 140 and then I took Leggett and then Thielen wrap him back around to get a double stack. Like I did that once or twice, but I don't know how I feel about it. But like I want to be in on that offense for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So like I definitely understand. Like somebody is a good play there. I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just leaning towards Coker because he's 40 picks later.
Yeah, no, hey, and that's totally understandable. It's totally understandable.
Yeah.
I've taken Coker some. I just
And
feel like I guess the reason I like Leggett is because of the old man factor. Like, if Thielen doesn't get old and he's on the field at least the first half of the season, I feel like that probably affects Coker more than Leggett. So
yeah,
that's why I guess, a little
I
more
mean,
into him.
Leggett was just a better receiver last year than, or Coker was a better
Yeah,
receiver
no,
last
he
year than Leggett. And it doesn't
agreed.
mean that he can't be a wide receiver or a second year breakout either, right? Like that, that's what you're saying. I totally get that. Uh, the other thing is that like I'm probably going to start taking more Leggett now because everybody I liked more than Leggett that was behind him is
Moved
now
up.
kind of going above him. Like
Yeah.
Pat Bryant is very soon going to be going above him
Oh, I
if
know
he's
you're
not
a
already.
I think you're the one that's Pat Bryan all day every day, right?
I mean, I had it. It's not a huge percent, but nobody was drafting him in the big board. I had 7.3% and 250
Okay.
drafts. So
Maybe
I
it's
took
somebody else I was thinking of has a crazy percent of him.
one of my followers has 10 point something percent. Uh, like I'm probably one of the only people that has over like I'm one of the. I'm sure there's only like 5 to 10 people max that play on
Mm-hmm.
Underdog that have more than 5% Pat Bryant on pre-draft.
Yeah.
I don't know the data for sure, but I took him on a bigger board team for $100. Like
Oh wow.
so, I it sucks that that was a DMart team. So like, and I got two of the running backs landed in real bad spots. So like I hit the good thing. I like it was my only Antonio Gibson share in the entire big board too. Like
Oh
it was
man.
completely wiped. I just took him because I had Drake May. Uh, but the team had three really good running backs. If they stay healthy, it could be a really good team because it had all kinds of value in it. But other than that, um, but yeah,
I
like
wanna oh, go ahead.
no, you're good. I was just
I was
rambling.
gonna say I want to show you this real quick before you take off too. I know you said you gotta get out of here at a decent time tonight.
No,
Share
I
this
got another
tab.
20, 30 minutes if you need. Like if you really wanted to do a second draft, like a 20 second, I could probably fit it in. That's up to you.
Um,
I don't care.
Yeah,
Like
I'm gonna do one more regardless. But look, so I know we both been talking both into the super flex, and I didn't do a lot of them last year. I only did 14. Admittedly, I was more of the DraftKings
yeah.
guy. But the crazy thing to me when the super flex came out, so I went and I was looking through, my teams or whatever. I only had two advanced. Dude, I cannot figure out for the life of me how I won my pod with this team, which gets me to like be willing to push QBs really gross because my QBs weren't even on the field at the end of the season. It didn't do nothing, obviously, in week 15. But like, I literally only had Cousins, Field, and O'Connell as my QBs on the
I
team.
Cousins played 14 weeks, right?
Yeah, I guess did he go to
Fields
14?
played
I was thinking I
Fields
didn't
played
go look it
6
up,
and
but I
then
thought
O'Connell played
cuz
in and out. So
I thought Cousins got benched more like I guess week 12, and so that's why I was wondering.
let me
But
look.
anyways, just with those three, because I remember I don't remember exactly what draft spot. I guess we can go look at the board. Can't you go back and look at the board still on these or
Yeah.
no?
Yeah, so go
Ah, there it is.
yep. That's not the right one. Uh
I
so
just
to
gotta
look at
share it. I think.
no,
Can you see it now?
that is everybody who is that the
No, this
actual board?
is yeah.
That's
Look,
the
this is it right here because I went CD at 8, and then I went Bijan, and then I went Cousins here, and then we got Barkley way down here, And then we had Travis Kelsey. This team had Tank Dell on it, who got hurt.
Yeah.
In the KC game, he got hurt. Then
Yeah.
we
So
got Pitts.
Cousins played 14 games last year.
Okay, okay, so that makes
So
more sense then. See, when I was
yeah,
looking at it the other day,
yeah.
I was like, man, I didn't even have a quarterback like in 13 or 14. But that makes more sense. But this just got me to thinking like, let me see. Oh, hold on real quick. I took it off of the share
Yeah. All good.
screen. There it goes. That one. Now I got to bring it on, Jeremy. Sorry about that. Getting used to it. But it just got me to thinking that like, man, like I've been pushing some QBs and I'm not afraid to get like 3 or 4 quarterback teams where it's kind of just a mix of what not what everybody else is doing. I had one the other day that I started. Let's look at it. I've only drafted two. I think I have a. Let's see, completed. Superflex is its own thing, right? Yeah, I got a couple slows going, and then I completed these two so far. I'm probably gonna do another one tonight.
If you want, you could hop in a 20-second one right now, and
Sure, let's just go do it, and I'll
that's up
talk
to
through it.
you.
But I
Like,
got I got like Bryce Young, Jordan Love, but then I was at the back end and I went Gibbs and Genty, ended up with Davis, Dowdle, Lloyd, and Sanders. And this one I probably should have took one less receiver and maybe another quarterback. But the way I was looking at it was like I feel so confident that
yeah,
I'm willing to die on some teams if Milrow doesn't come through for
scroll
me.
down a little. So uh, with that, with those wide receivers, how many? Go back up to your running backs.
I took 5 running backs, I believe 6 running backs. We went
How many
Gibbs,
tight ends?
Genty. I went 4 tight ends. I used
That
the extra
that is something
quarterback
I
spot.
would. That's what I would have fixed. I
Yeah,
so like, did you listen to this stream I had today with
I
Steve?
caught I caught only like maybe the first 10 or 15
Okay,
minutes. It was
so
it
like,
was in the middle of me getting ready to go to soccer practice with my girls.
it's all good. So something Steve and I were discussing, and I mentioned it, and Steve fully explained it. Like, I mentioned it yesterday, and then today Steve kind of fully explained what I said, and that's that tight end is like absolutely the least valuable position because like your flex is like your super flex is going to be like you're guessing 21 points, right? Like you're
Mm-hmm.
if you take three quarterbacks, two of them are going to be 20ish points, right?
Mm-hmm.
So so your flex is between your third running back and your third wide receiver. So for a tight end to hit your flex, your like it's going to have to score even higher than normal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, this is a 20
Real
second
quick,
super flex.
Mark, we just hopped in the 20-second super flex.
Yeah, so then like do you do the math? Like your super flex position is replacing a wide receiver position. That wide receiver position probably was scoring like 11 points, but that super flex position is going to score 20 some points. So your team overall is scoring 10 more points a week. So that means that the discrepancy for your tight end is going to matter way less. So like making sure you have your 9 points at tight end because like if you look at the top tight ends, like George Kittle was number one last year. I know this off the top of my head with 13.3 or points per game at tight end. That was number one
Nice, Mark.
points per game. So like I'll just read down the list. Kittle 13.47, Bowers 12.1, McBride 11.7, Taysom Hill 11.5, Jonu 10.6, and Joku 10.2, uh, Mark Andrews 9.4, Kelsey 9 point whatever. So like so you're basically looking for 9 points, right?
Mm-hmm. here was my thinking on it. I normally don't go for tight ends. I mean,
Yeah,
even in this format with the 20 rounds on DraftKings, I very rarely ever went for tight ends. But my thinking, I remember with that particular team, was it was like I was willing to take a chance because I like this super flex format. I don't know how many I'm gonna do. My guess would be I'll end up with at least like 40, 50 of them, maybe something like that. We'll
yeah,
see where it gets. And so with that particular team, I was thinking, okay, well, I Milrow is just a bet that I'm willing to like live with and die with this year. That
yeah,
like on a lot of teams on certain formats that he's going to be playing for Seattle down the stretch. So I
right.
figured if I'm right about that, then I'll definitely have Milrow plus Jordan Love and Bryce Young.
Yeah.
So in that case,
The
I
problem
don't know it.
the problem with that is Miller's going to be down the stretch, so you need Jordan Love and Bryce Young to be the guy every other week.
Mm-hmm.
So like I believe that if you only have two guys and it's like Jordan Love and Bryce Young, Milrow, I mean, I'm 37% Milrow right now. I've been taking him every time he makes it to the 15th round, basically, uh,
Yeah.
because I believe he'll be going in the 11th sometime. Uh, so I think that you just take flyers on two random guys. Like right now, Mason Rudolph is a starter, right? Like,
Mm-hmm. Technically,
I mean, like Kenny Pickett has a chance to start, and he
mm-hmm.
goes in round 18. And like, since you only have two and you don't have the studs, like you need more volume to try to push through like better
Real
hits, right?
quick, we're on the about to be on the clock. You want to go Gibbs if he stays?
I'm good with Gibbs for sure, and yeah, yeah, let's go Gibbs.
And
And,
I'm not arguing at all. Like I definitely hear your point, and I think you're probably right that like that team would have been better off with one more quarterback on it versus four tight ends. I do agree with that, but I don't know. I guess just with some teams,
right,
I'm willing to get it crazy with it.
Kyler went, huh? Uh, I'm okay with Baker or Bo or Genty or CMC. I'm fine with any of those.
Let's do CMC and then we'll try to hit quarterbacks because I just
Yeah,
have really been liking these builds where I pass on quarterbacks here.
okay.
I feel like if you
Just
have one of those first 4 or 5 picks and you can get, your Allen, Lamar, Hurts, and Daniels, I kind of like playing it in almost like a hero quarterback, like you would a hero running
I
back types.
I did one earlier. I'm gonna find it real quick. I think it was this one.
Keep talking. I'll be
Yeah,
right back.
it it was my only Saquon I've taken. I was at the 7 spot. And Saquon, Genty, and then on the wrap back around, Achan was still there, and I'm like, yeah, why not? Yeah. so
Yeah.
I took so I took Achan, and then Drake May came back around the corner, and then Michael Penix came back, and then Bryce Young came back. So I still ended with three quarterbacks, but because those quarterbacks are late, and because like I'm probably flexing. What's up, Pat Daddy? Thanks for
Yes,
stopping in.
sir. It is a super flex. We finished the BBM. We just hopped in a super flex.
Yeah, so like I ended up adding Travion Henderson a couple rounds later, and I was like, I basically played it as a hyper fragile, and then my last 2 rounds I just added two random running backs just in case, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I went 5 quarterbacks with this because I have late value. Like Drake May, I kind of value higher than most, but Michael Penix and Bryce Young, I don't necessarily do that. So I got Milrow at 162. I took Tyler Shuck. Like I wasn't planning on doing that, but Tyler Shuck fell to 140. So I took Tyler Shuck, and then I'm like, well, Milrow's still here too. So
Take
and
him
then
also.
yeah, and then like you only need to start the two wide receivers, so you can kind of go empty there if you need. And I don't feel bad about this for only starting two. I got George Pickens, Steph Diggs, Darnell Mooney, Trey Harris, Kyle Williams for the double stack, Pat Bryant, Jalen Coker. Like I just got to start two a week.
Yeah.
And then like what I was getting at with your team, like if you would have just stopped at 2 tight ends, like I have Pat Fryermuth and Mason Taylor. Maybe I should have went a third instead of taking my boy Damian Martinez on a team. Like I've done it twice. I'm probably going to do it like 5 times in this tournament because I can. Uh, because there's 20 rounds again, and I have an opportunity to waste money, so let's do it. Like, so like like we're gonna lose anyway, so like let's have fun with it. Um,
Yeah, that's funny. I got this little thing I've been trying to put
yeah,
together, but it's been giving me a headache. It's kind of if it works out, it's going to be an intro type video, and that's how it ends. Is me saying we're all
yeah,
going to lose anyways.
nice.
What do you want to do here? You want to reach down for a quarterback, or you want to go ahead and lock up one of the big boy
So
receivers?
the guy went.
We could do this and then see
That's
if Herbert will flip around.
well, that is not going
Well,
to
never
happen.
mind.
So
Nope.
take Drake May.
We'll take Drake May. Get us a quarterback before he's
Yeah,
gone.
and then this guy probably like hit quarterback real quick. So we could gamble that 2 quarterbacks come all the way back around, or we could take another one. Um,
I think if AJ Brown's there, I'd rather push it and just see what we could get, and if nothing else,
yeah,
catch up
I,
with volume.
I'm actually bigger on McConkey, but like
Are you?
AJ Brown's fine. Like it's perfectly fine. So like if we take one of those two, like we just have to stop at wide receiver for a while.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course,
That
because we only got to start two, and we got to get
yeah,
some more
and
quarterbacks. Yeah, no.
like that's something I did with one of these teams as well. Is I was gonna do that, but then Rasheed Rice fell 8 picks, and I have a Jamar Chase, Rasheed Rice, Chris Godwin team here that only took 5 receivers.
Okay.
Like I basically played a hyper fragile at wide receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like this team's pretty sick. Like I also went 5 quarterbacks on this one, and like so like part of the thing and part of the reason I was saying with that other team that I would have flipped 2 quarterback or tight ends, or maybe a running back and a tight end into a quarterback and have gone 5 is because like I took Gardner Minshew on this team because I had Rasheed Rice. Like if Mahomes gets hurt, Gardner Minshew is going to
Yeah.
play some games. And if Gardner Minshew is throwing to Rasheed Rice, he's probably going to throw the like have some points, right? And if Rasheed Rice has a 2 or 3 touchdown game in week 15, like that's going to help tremendously push you through if Gardner Minshew has a 30-point game and
Yeah.
no one else owns him.
No, I get it, but Pat's gonna go out there hobbled and hop
Oh
around and
yeah, I know
pretend
that.
he's hurt, more hurt than what he really is.
Right, yeah. No, I get it. And
But
I'm
he
not
could
saying
have a serious injury, of course. No, I get
right.
it. Like,
And like so last year, as Steve pointed this out in my stream today, and that was the guy who got 4th in the Superflex puppy last year had who was it? It was the guy who started for the Giants week 17 last year. Uh,
oh, I can't think of his name, but
yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
but he scored 30 some points. It was it's I'm starting to get tired, but like it wasn't Daniel Jones. It wasn't Tommy DeVito.
Uh,
It
I
was
I can't think of it either.
yeah.
I
I mean
remember
he's
that game though.
yeah. Yeah. But you know who I'm talking about. Like we know who we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about. We just can't remember the name. But that guy went out and threw 2 screen passes to Malik Neighbors that Malik Neighbors turned into 60-yard touchdowns. And then he threw a touchdown to Slayton, and he also threw one to. Uh, all right,
What do you
so
like here? We're on the clock. You want to go quarterback?
I definitely want to go quarterback. Um, I mean, I have a hard time not taking Bryce Young over the other two because he has rushing upside.
I was just about to say, and
Yeah.
because, well, in my case, I like
The
leg in the
problem is
draft that we can tack on with
there
them if
is
we
a
need to.
problem, as you see, with the double by week 14, which means we have to take another one, but we could just take Tua, Stafford, or Cam Ward.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Like,
we're gonna have at least three, probably four quarterbacks.
yeah,
We
so
can maybe even get away with. You want to go another one here then, or
yeah,
you
I
want
think
to?
we just go ahead and lock it up. We either take Tua or Gino, maybe. Gino runs a little, right?
And he has less injury risk. I
I
mean,
mean,
anybody could get
yeah,
hurt, but I
that
mean,
everyone
we're
has
talking
less
about
injury.
Tua.
Everyone has less injury
Tua's
risk.
head is so fragile.
Yeah. When you first said that, it didn't register, and you're like, less injury risk. I'm like, how? Oh, because it's Tua. That's how. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
And I
And
probably need to build more here. You know, it goes back to what I was talking about with the Miami offense and the recency bias. We all fall trapped to it, right? I looked at my 14 teams from last year and I'm like, man, I won my pod with three quarterbacks, none of them stud quarterbacks. Probably a lot of times these receivers and running backs were hitting my flex, and I still run my pod. So, and which I've only drafted, you know, two teams other than about three slow drafts that I have going. So it's not like, you know, I've been smashing that type of build 20 drafts in a row or something.
yeah, and like Tua's health worries everyone.
That's what we were just saying.
Like, uh, so like with this build though, I know we have three quarterbacks. This is the kind of build that I'm gonna tack on at least one late random guy at the end.
At the end,
Yeah, like around
this is a
15th,
team
17th.
that
Like if
I
Milroe's there in the 15th, just
I
smash
was
him.
just about to say,
Yeah.
smash my boy Milrow and be done with it. He's gonna be
Yeah.
playing by week 14 when
I
we
mean,
really got to worry about it.
yeah. And like Mason Rudolph in 18 or like Kirk Cousins, I've got him in the 20th. Like I'm perfectly fine taking a Kirk Cousins in the 20th. Kirk
The
Cousins still
other
has outs to being traded, like
Yeah, I was just about to say the other team that I've drafted. I kind of was getting boxed out, and I had Metcalf on it, so I took Old Man Rogers. But then I also took Cousins,
yeah.
just thinking that in case if Rogers don't go there, well, there's probably a decent chance then maybe Cousins gets traded to Pittsburgh.
I
So I took Cousins and Rogers on that team.
so I've done 22 of these already, but I have one team with Drake London on it, and I got Michael Penix on that team, and Kirk Cousins was available in the 20th, and it's like, yeah, okay, like sounds great. And like another late round person, and I mentioned this on my stream, and Meg Shoop ended up taking it. Like, I think Marcus Mariota is a fantastic pick in the last round. Like Jaden Daniels, like he's not a big dude. He
Hmm.
runs a lot. He's done a better job in the pros of not taking a big hit than he did in college. I think he actually worked on that. Um, but like he did get banged up last year. Mariota played a game and a half. Mariota, like that offense worked with him in it. So like he's a guy who I'm gonna tack onto a team or two. Like if I have any Washington pieces at the end, I think
Hmm.
here we have to go with a running back for
You think
sure.
so?
Yeah, like go to tight end real quick. Yeah, this is our second draft. We did a BBM to start. Like, yeah, I'm definitely a
We
tight
can do
or a
that.
running
I
back.
would be tempted to just go ahead and get one of these top three receivers on the bed. But if Metcalf is there and it was me, I would probably go Metcalf and then just not take
I,
another receiver for a while. But I could, are you thinking
I
Connor at running back or Judkins?
yeah, I think if we can get two of Connor Judkins, and like Connor first.
Connor first?
Yeah. And then Connor, I think, is a tier above. But like, if we can get Judkins or Caleb Johnson, and we're getting one of them, like I think we just do that because that gives us four running backs, right? with
Mm-hmm. Let's take Judkins. I'm not
yeah,
really in on the Johnson guy. I am in on Judkins though.
yeah. That's how I feel about it. But like, I do take some Caleb Johnson because his situation's awesome. So the other thing about this is you don't want to, but you actually can start for running backs because a running back can hit your super flex.
Yeah, yeah, no,
So
exactly.
like really like having three and like I like to have four running backs by the time that you're like past Mixon or uh what's his name? Minnesota, Jordan Mason. So
Mason,
like I want
you
at
like to
least
have
four running
four by
backs
then?
by there, just in case you have injury luck or
Yeah.
like in week 14, where we're only gonna have one quarterback, like we're gonna be able to flex like super flex one of those guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Possible, hopefully, right? Like the goal is that all of them have a good week that week. But it is possible for that to happen. And it you could basically run it as like a hyper fragile too, to where one of these is going to hit your flex every week, like your regular flex as well.
Mm-hmm.
And with only needing one other wide receiver, because AJ Brown should always be there or be there. He'll be there what, like 12 of the
Most
weeks,
weeks, yeah.
like 12 of them. So, and this is more wide receiver firepower than I'm used to playing with in this format. uh, and we'll see if you end up liking liking it either. So, like what the 12
It's
hole did there,
interesting. It's definitely a little bit different than what I build, but hey, that's what's good to mix it up, right? Maybe I
yeah.
will like it better.
And like I'm doing different builds. Like I done
Mm-hmm.
a Jaden Daniels to where my next two pick Nico Collins and BTJ, and like CJ Stroud half the time makes it back around to you, and that room was super quarterback hungry, and like Bryce Young was the next quarterback available all the way back there.
Oh wow.
Like it was bad. So like I ended up just going. I think I took six quarterbacks. Like it was just all a bunch of like. I ended up throwing. I think it was Geno Smith on there as a second because he was literally just the next guy, and I just needed the guy. And then I just took four flyers. But like I only went five wide receivers. Like because I had BTJ and Nico when you only need two.
So what are you thinking here? Receiver now, or you want to
Um,
look for a tight end, or
I don't really respect tight
I
ends in
don't.
this.
You just take
So
three, two or three late and be done with it.
hit running back again. Let's just look at it. I mean, I probably like if Pacheco, Robinson, or Scatabo are available, I probably take one of those at one of the like at the second pick. Probably take a wide receiver you want first, and then if one of those guys is available, take them, and then we can kind of ignore running back till
Mm-hmm.
almost the end.
Let's take Diggs since we have May.
Yeah,
Sound
absolutely.
good?
Yeah,
He was on the boat with all kind of chicks today. He looked pretty happy and
yeah.
healthy.
Somebody asked me what I thought about it, and I didn't even think about it on my stream, but like I could care less, like
Right.
absolutely care less.
I thought it was funny.
So I mean, I wouldn't hate like Pearsall either if you want to do a Pearsall or if you want to
Let's
go
do
call.
Robinson. I like
Okay,
Robinson. You know, he
yeah,
has those random two touchdown games every now and then.
but like I was like a buddy of mine messaged me that like is a more casual football fan, and and my answer to him was, "It's a shocker that the guy who's dating a stripper likes women." You know, I mean, what a shocker that like is probably like her friends from before or something.
His
Yeah,
energy
like
level did look good for sure.
yeah, he didn't have the brace on, did he? Like
I saw the
yeah, the
video
brace was
or
off.
the part that I saw. It was this one dude who's actually a Houston sports journalist had posted it, you know, because he used to play for us or whatever last year. And he said, those aren't the old school pop rocks in the bag that he's handing out.
Yeah, I don't know what else. Like I heard that there was like other things. Wasn't just women, or like that's what people were upset about. But
Yeah.
I mean, they number one have to prove that it was what it was. I don't know if he got busted. I know nothing about the story because I don't. I should probably look into it since I'm streaming now. But like I generally let all that noise like quiet down before I decide anything.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so like with five running backs by Brian
Let's look at
Robinson,
it.
like,
It's looking nice.
and
Only the
now,
week 8 as far as the overlap, just Gibbs and Connor. But even when those two are on buys, we got CMC, Judkins, and Robinson. Three quarterbacks that we at least know are starting for their teams to start the year and probably not much bench risk.
yeah, I don't really even, I don't know if he'll get suspended, Diggs or anything. I don't think so. Like,
No, it was. I mean, because it really didn't show nothing. It showed something really quick in a bag in the video that I saw, and you
yeah.
couldn't really tell. To me, I only looked at it on my phone like for literally a second, just scrolling through Twitter or whatever.
What's funny is I was going through X and like it never popped up for me.
Makes my Kyle Williams and Pop Douglas bags happy.
I have 37% Kyle Williams in Superflex right now because I have 37% Drake May and Kyle Williams is absolutely free. Kyle Williams goes at like what is it? It's like 150 or something. I got him at 139. His ADP is 143. I got him at 139 in my last draft. Uh, I mean,
Nice.
yeah. And then wrapped around and took Milrow. Like, or no, I guess it was 10 picks later. Yeah. So let's look at wide receiver. And so right here is where I would be interested in taking a tight end if you want a tight end. Um, And I'm also more into like Luther Burden and Egbuka in this contest than normal. I think it's too early for Milrow.
No, no, I was just looking to see who was all out there.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree. He'll go before we take him in this one, but
probably. Uh,
you want to go
Burden,
Burden for some
yeah,
late season upside? Get
yeah,
him on there so we get somebody.
yeah. I like the risk of Burden and Egbuka in this a lot more because you only need two of them, and then all you need is for them to be relevant at the end. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm personally Tyler Warren over Loveland, but we could do that. We could do Keon. It's up to you. I think getting our first tight end makes sense here. Or we
Well,
could go Loveland. It's fine. We got the team correlation there.
no, I went ahead and switched it back to Warren. We'll go with Warren. I do like the team correlation, but I guess what scared me away from it is when you were talking about I didn't know, we haven't drafted
Yeah.
this our first night drafting together, and I didn't know if you would be more of like wanting to do two tight ends with this build or a third, and I have doubts about Loveland being ready at the start of the
Yeah.
year at this point in May. All we know is he has a shoulder surgery or a shoulder injury, and he's not really doing much in OTAs. We'll see how much that drags into the thing.
I,
So, I I went ahead and switched it to Warren just because I felt like
I,
he was a little.
I'm okay. Like if I take Loveland, like one reason I prefer Warren over Loveland is because if I take Loveland, I feel like you have to go three.
Mm-hmm.
So like that to me means that I want that flipped. Not that Loveland, or not that Loveland is a bad pick. It's just that it, and not that you can't go three with Tyler Warren, but taking Tyler Warren there, as long as we get a veteran alongside of him, like a Gasicki or a Fryermuth or somebody like
Mm-hmm.
that, like we could stop at two. But if our team looks solid, there's really no reason not to take a third. I just like the option to be able, like, we haven't got boxed out at any position, right?
Mm-hmm. No, no, I agree.
So like if I don't get boxed out at any position, I probably might take a third, but it'll be like a upside guy late.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I switched it at the end. I knew the time was running out, and I wasn't sure if like you for sure was just wanting to stay with two
Yeah,
tight ends. So I was like, well, if we take Warren, Warren's a good prospect. You know, if I wish he would have went to a little different team where I knew a little more consistently how they would use him or how the quarterbacks would be. But you know, if they start getting him involved doing a little bit of everything, you know, almost like a supercharged Taysom Hill or something without the throwing.
I'll tell you this: Daniel Jones at 110 ADP is an absolute steal in this. Like, even if he only plays like 5 games,
Is that where he
that's
went?
he. I think his ADP is 110, but he goes at
110 right
130
now.
half the time.
Yeah, that's where he
And
went today, 128.
that's I've been taking a lot of him, and I like I haven't landed the Daniel Jones, Tyler Warren stack, but I've tried it a couple times, taking Jones and then try to wrap around, but it never works. Somebody like us takes Tyler Warren every time.
What are you thinking here?
I think
There's
we
the
just take
Flacco thing. If you want to go quarterback,
no. I think we just fill out wide receiver here.
okay,
The
I'm good with that.
huge drop off at Jack Besh and Hollywood Brown and Christian Kirk.
I'm not in on Best, but I'd be okay with either Brown or Kirk or Bateman. We don't have Lamar, but
Go look at our bye weeks real quick.
8, 14, 8,
That's the wrong
9.
position.
Oh, sorry. 9, 14, and
Just go Bateman.
5. Sure.
Yeah, and we probably get two of these guys. Like, I think we just take Hollywood, or like if Hollywood comes back around, we just take him, and then that'll leave us. Yeah, he
There,
took him. I mean, I know you don't like Besh, but look, click over to tight end and running back.
we got a Kyle Pitts out there. You in on Kyle Pitts?
We could do Kyle Pitts or Garindo.
Let's get
Oh, we have
Garendo.
CMC. We have CMC, right?
Ah, yeah. You're right. I made it
Yeah,
just in time. I
yeah,
forgot we took CNC. I have been taking Garendo, but not on the CMC team. That
right.
works out.
Yeah,
We'll take Pitts with Warren.
I
I can't
forgot.
give up on Pitts.
Yeah, I forgot for a minute too. Like I was like, oh, how about Garindo? Oh, how about not?
Good catch. Good catch.
Yeah,
All right, so recap it real quick. Let's see what we're working with since we have can't remember. We have Drake May, Bryce Young, Geno Smith at the quarterbacks. Like to add on at least someone else later. Gibbs, McCaffrey, Connor, Judkins, Brian Robinson at running back. We have A.J. Brown, Diggs, Burden, and Bateman as our receivers, and Warren and Pitts at the tight end spots.
what do you think of this structure?
We're sitting right now at a 3-5-4-2. I like it. You know, it's pretty even overall. Um, you got me. I maybe the. I don't know. I like it, you know, and like I said, I don't really have a set structure. I am definitely a like take what the board kind of gives me, you
Yeah,
know, type of drafter. I mean, let's just talk a regular format. I end up with some teams where I take like, you know, three running backs even in the first 5 rounds because that's where the value was at or whatever. And then I just try to catch up. I don't know if you saw that little like 5 or 6 minute thing that I put out the other day. I've been playing around with like, you know, the challenge drafts or, you know, extreme drafts or whatever. And instead of just recording a whole draft, you know, talking through it, I did mine a little different where I did the draft and then I just kind of like, you know, pulled up the board and went pick by pick, explained my thinking. And I actually, when I got done, I liked that team a lot more than what I thought I would. It was a 2-4. I attacked receiver really late with volume, so I had 10
yeah.
receivers and two tight ends. But I had like Josh Allen, four damn good running backs who all had different bye weeks. Two tight ends. I did my two favorite tight ends. I did Kittle and Hawkinson on the team. Like my first receiver was Diggs. That's why I had 10 of them. But the 10 that I had, like, a lot of that back end was my favorite spike week type receivers. So I actually like the team a lot more than what I thought going
I,
into it.
I've done stuff like that. I don't know. Like last year, that would have smashed. Like
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
Yeah. So I do think that we will take more receivers or quarterbacks, but I think we could finish up running back here because running back dies, like completely dies, right?
Hmm.
I think six is perfectly fine, like a Will Shipley or a Dowdle or Justice Hill, even Giddens would be fine. Like any of those
Hmm.
would be perfectly fine as our sixth and last.
I like Will Shipley a lot. He's one of my
I do
favorite
too.
late round running backs. I'll put him up there and we'll start looking through for the next one.
And
So
then
what then? Go ahead.
like we're done at tight end, right? Like that's how I feel like we're done.
Probably. I mean, unless somebody like we just really like
Yeah.
comes to us or
So
something.
how many more picks do we have? We have six, right?
Let's see. We are at 10. Yes. Yeah, we're in the 15th right now.
Yeah. So let's say we add
We'll
Will
have four
Shipley
after
and we'll
this,
be done.
or
And then
five.
we have five more picks. So
Yes.
we could add one random quarterback, three wide receivers, and one tight end. We could add two wide receivers, one tight end, and two quarterbacks. Like we could do whatever. Uh, I think wide receivers kind of the thing we need now. Pat Bryant,
Yeah, we
can
can
I
do your
can
boy.
I
I was
interest
just
you in my boy? Can I?
I like Pat Bryant. No,
Yeah,
I draft Pat Bryant too. I don't think I'm quite as high on him as you, but
nobody is.
he's a guy that like when it gets to this point, I'll reach up in a normal draft with where the ADPs are a little more stable or whatever. I'll
Let's
reach up
scroll through
five
our
or
team real
six.
quick. I want to look. I don't think we really have any bringbacks going on.
Mm-mm.
Not that it's a huge deal, but we do have the CMC Luther Burden. We have
We have
we
Mage. Let me
we
pull up
don't
my
have
thing over here.
any
Shut off on me.
we don't have any Jets, but that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there. I mean, if Mason Taylor made it all the way back somehow, I would be okay tacking him on, right? Uh,
If who?
Mason Taylor, but he
Oh
ain't
yeah,
gonna.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we're
Like, there's a wide receiver I would really like to add. Like I add to a lot of my Bryce Young teams. I like MVS and Torrey Horton's fine too. Um, like we could add one of those, and we don't have to really worry about those. So like the next pick probably could just be a random quarterback, like a backup quarterback or something.
okay. That
Uh,
sounds good.
and like it's kind of just pick your own whatever. Like make your own adventure here. Like what story do you want to tell yourself?
Yeah, and I like to just kind of see what the board gives me, and yeah. So we're definitely done at tight end with those six running backs. You're thinking done there too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the, we might have been able to finish at five.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like to be like six on Superflex just because you almost need your flex to be running back every week. So giving you an extra shot at a guy who could be a stud, like it just like your average running back that's starting every week is more points than a wide receiver. The reason wide receivers have like our higher ADPs because you need more of them and there's less of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's less studs. But I guess there's not less of them. There's just less that produce at a high volume.
Yeah, yeah, no, you're totally right about that.
So what what quarterbacks are you thinking about?
I don't know. I was just looking. I mean, they're all, in my opinion, kind of dart throws.
Yeah,
I
so
guess
like yeah,
Rattler maybe or one
I
of the
mean
Cleveland guys. There's the.
Rattler
I think I
like the ones I like are like Rattler, Pickett, Mariota,
Mary. I was just about to say he's further
uh,
down, but
Will
Mariota.
Howard's a shot. Um, Joe Milton is draftable. Like, and we could just take one of these and be good. We could take two different ones. Like, I think we just want to take a shot on a guy, most likely. Oh, it's Drew Lock. Drew Lock was the guy from week 17 last year, by the way.
Ah,
I just remembered. 20 minutes later.
you like any of these receivers here
I
better
mean,
than the quarterback?
we have one that's a stack.
Your boy Coker.
Yeah, I'm fine taking him. I'm fine not taking him. Like
Let's go
it's
ahead and throw him on there. We'll
yeah.
get him, and then we'll pick one of these quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
we're not in a rush to like get these quarterbacks. Like
no,
nobody else is.
we're in the 18th. What are you thinking?
Yeah,
One more receiver and then two quarterbacks to finish
yeah.
it off then?
Go
You want to do that?
MVS
MVS?
if you don't mind.
Sure, we'll throw him on there.
And then we could either go one quarterback and one tight end or two quarterbacks. Just kind of throw somebody on at the end. I assume like I think one quarterback and one tight end kind of good. Like I feel like our wide receivers are fine enough now. Like we have AJ Brown to anchor,
Uh
and then
huh.
we just have a ton of guys that have a chance to spike.
Well, I guess since there's nobody in our draft other than Mark's in the stream, but none of these guys are in the stream. So if Sanders makes it back around, I wouldn't mind going ahead and grabbing him. I guess just since we do have Bryce, and then whatever quarterback we want
Yeah,
there in the 20th.
Jatavian, not Shador. Got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, just because we have Bryce,
Right, right.
the stack.
Yeah,
I saw he was on the board a second ago. Still,
right.
no, not Shador. I even in this, I don't know if I'll take Shador.
Uh,
Maybe, but probably not.
like
Because he goes, I mean, just because of his name, he goes probably higher than he should, right? I haven't even really paid attention. Yeah, I mean, he's going up here with Russell Wilson, who we know at least is going to start the year.
where did where did Dylan Gabriel go? Where has he been?
Gabriel,
He went in the 11th in one of mine today.
somewhere right in here. I thought I remembered seeing him go. No,
That's
somebody
another
must have
name.
took him
That,
early.
that's a name you could add to the list if
I
he's
know he's
not
he's still
taken.
on there then.
Like I
Yeah, he's still on there. Huh.
that I mean that's a player that I'm not gonna get any of because he goes the random like he goes in like the
Has he been going higher? Like I said, I've only done two of these
like
so far.
17th or so a lot, but like he
Okay.
randomly went in the 11th in one of mine. You take
Okay.
Chig or Gunner for your tight end three. Yeah, Gunner Helm like that's actually a shout that I've kind of forgot about. I I I do need to tack him on into some of these 20 round drafts.
I haven't heard nothing about his knee though. I want to know if his knee's healthy, because that's why he ran slow at the combine. He
No,
played
it was his ankle.
ankle. Sorry, you're right, but he played a lot faster than what people
Yeah.
are thinking he is. I'm a Longhorn fan. I live here in Austin, and so I'm pretty familiar with his game. And
He he just rolled like he rolled his ankle. Like we've all done it. Like it sucks. It hurts. You can't be a super athlete when that happens.
no, no, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if I guess if for some reason I had in my head it was his knee, but if it's his ankle, then he should definitely be fine. He
Yeah,
reminds me a lot of Gronk. I don't know quite about that, but he is a pretty good weapon. Could be potentially. He
I
was
mean
in college.
he outproduced Matthew Golden last year,
All right.
right?
Uh, yes. Golden
So
came on late in the year because the other guy that didn't even get drafted was supposed to be their number one. The guy that
Isaiah
said he
Bond.
was going, yeah, the guy that
Well,
said he was going to run fast. You want to
yeah.
go with one of these tight ends and then grab Gabriel? You want to grab
I think
Gabriel
we could
first
just take
since,
Gabriel. Mark
uh,
already like I think it's fine.
yeah, and I mean we have a few different tight end options here
Tight
anyways that
end.
were
I
pretty
mean,
decent.
we just took Gabriel. Do we want to throw a dart at Harold Fannin?
Sure.
I mean, like it's in Hail Mary range right now, right? Like we have two guys who should be good.
Yeah,
Like we don't have to have production from this guy. Now, if we had a Colston Loveland right here, I would be suggesting like
Johnson or somebody more consistent.
Higby one or like even Arroyo. Like I think Arroyo is one of the best picks in this round, really.
Hmm.
And if we had like I have a lot of him. I need to start taking him when I don't take Milrow on these, honestly. Like I just think he's a really good pick. Like there's been talks already about him playing the
Being a
DK man.
wide receiver. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
playing out wide. I saw that the other day too, and that was before I switched over to underdog. Whenever I was doing, the milli makers on DK every night, that was my favorite thing to do was 19, especially if you're on that back end where you have the early 20th. You
Yeah.
could get Aurora and Milrow like every time. Like, okay, why
Uh,
not?
Malik Willis is actually a really good pick too.
Yeah.
Because if he plays, he's going to run.
Hmm.
And like
That's kind of my thing with Milrow.
this is what the last two rounds should be in this. It should just be
Hmm.
taking like a lot of people taking darts
E-
at
Exactly.
quarterback.
All these quarterbacks, because you don't know what's going to happen, right? Any
I mean,
quarterback can
go look at the running backs that are left. Just go look.
nothing. Miles Sanders.
Zach Moss. When Zach Moss is on your list, like there's just,
Yeah.
things are grim.
Even receivers are pretty dry for the most
Yeah,
part. Yeah, why not take chances on those backup quarterbacks,
right. Because
We
if
probably should start looking further down the list too and probably could find something. Quinn Ewers might be an interesting pick if you had some Miami receivers. Like I'm not a big
I mean,
Quinn Ewers guy, but I was saying before the draft when I was talking to somebody, one of my friends, and they were asking me about Ewers, and I was like, if he went to the right team in a right system with a coach who really knew how to use him because his strength is getting the ball out and he's really accurate with short and medium throws. He's not a good deep ball thrower. He's not going to move at all. And like in my opinion, McDaniels would kind of be a really good coach and system for him to play in. And we all know Tua's health, so
yeah.
might
So
need to start looking into him some.
PPR Tyler said that in one of his first ones he took Zach Wilson, who is
Okay,
another
yeah.
like his. I mean, he's a former first round pick. He's on a new team again. Like eh,
Mm-hmm.
that offense has like he's probably going to be better than what they tried out last year in Huntley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be hard to be worse than Huntley was last year for that offense. Like, and I mean,
Hendon
Huntley was a
Hooker.
Pro Bowler, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't understand how it was that bad. But all right, let's go over the team.
Picking from the 11th spot, we had Drake May, Bryce Young, Geno Smith, and we threw Gabriel on there as a fourth quarterback. We stopped at six running backs with Gibbs, CMC, Connor, Judkins, Brian Robinson, and Shipley. I like that room a lot. We got the two studs up top. Connor, Judkins, Robinson are all going to be playing for their teams, all starters for their team.
Yeah,
We got the, little upside play in Shipley if something happened to Barkley. Receiver room, Brown, Diggs, Burden, Bateman, Pat Bryant, Coker, MVS threw on there as our last receiver. Tight end room, we went with Warren, Pitts, and long shot Fanning. But hey, you never know. What if Ninjoku gets hurt, right?
I mean, or they just
Or they
decide
run
that
two tight ends.
yeah, or yeah, that our best offense is two tight ends with Judkins, right?
I've been saying that. I said that on one of
Right.
my streams the other night. That's exactly why I'm so in on Judkins this year is because they still do have a really good defense. They play outdoors. Place gets windy a lot. We don't know who their quarterback's going to be. It's not like they really have a stud receiver. So yeah, they're definitely their best plan of attack is like let's use this young, athletic running back that we just drafted and let's play some really good defense and try to play ball control and let him do his thing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I had fun. Like this is a good team. Like it like I don't normally take the AJ Brown there, but I think I think that was probably the right pick for sure. Uh, Gave us an anchor at wide receiver. Like AJ Brown probably shouldn't have been available at that point for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'll
so
go back and put like the what you call it on it later, like what type of build and stuff like
yeah,
that it
yeah, it's
is. I just
whatever.
want to get your name on them so I can
It,
track them better.
it's you have to back out super
Yeah, I
close.
forget
Yeah,
that. Hartman had to remind me of that too the other night.
yeah.
That's the
I'm
one thing, I'm still trying to learn their computer system because the teams like so last year I did, those handful of Superflex teams or whatever, and I did a bunch of the eliminators. But all of last year, almost all of my underdog, I did slow drafts because I did a whole lot of DraftKings, and that's where I did all my live drafting at. And so like all of mine were just slow drafts I did on my phone. So I'm still getting used to like the actual like
yeah.
computer part of them.
I I enjoy the fast a lot more, and I don't have a problem looking at Mark's team and before I leave.
Yeah. We'll definitely look at it, see what he did over there. I enjoy the fast a lot more too. It's just with, I got 4 kids in summertime.
Right.
We're always taking vacations and stuff, and I can only get so many live drafts in. So if I want to draft as many as I want to draft, I kind of got to pick which ones I want to do slow.
All right. So you
Mark
got
stuck with just 3 quarterbacks with Murray, Ward, and Rudolph. I will say it's definitely a little thinner than I would have liked. Running back, it's got JT, Hampton, Pacheco, Stevenson, and Dowdle. Wide receivers, probably a little too many considering he started with Lamb and Wilson, but Lamb and Wilson, Cup, Shaheed, Kirk, Brown, Lockett, Austin, and threw the rookie from Tennessee on there since he had Ward, I believe. Yeah, he did have
uh,
Ward.
so the one problem, like I noticed this when you made the pick originally, go to full draft and then go to draft board if you can, like at the bottom of the screen, just full draft and then draft board, and then scroll down to Laporta Hawkinson.
I noticed that too. Two tight
So
ends right
like
there in this
the two
format.
like you kind of got boxed out at quarterback there. Um, you could have like I mean at the 12 hole, and like this happens in the BBMs and stuff too at the 1 hole, the 12 hole. You have to be very proactive from there
Mm-hmm.
to take your quarterbacks. The one thing I would have done, number one, is I would not have double tapped tight end uh, there. Like, take one of them, sure, and neither one of them was a stack either. It is a bring back within itself. Like, I do get that,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's too much capital for not. Like, I guess Laporta, you could argue, is an elite. Uh, but I think if you replace one of those with another wide receiver or another running back, and then like later down the line, like go scroll down a little bit because like let's say that replaces Stevenson, like you take another running back there, and then you don't take Stevenson, and there was another running back he had too, right? And
Yes,
then yeah,
Dowdle.
you remove Dowdle as well, like, and then you replace one of those with the tight end and another one of those with the quarterback. Like now, since you only have the two starting quarterbacks, like it gives you an extra out. Yeah, so
My thinking was to have 2 best tight ends and have the position covered to focus on other skills. Mm,
yeah, no, I understand that. And like what I was saying earlier about how tight ends is just way less valuable. Uh, Now, and if you take one with high capital, you just need like in BBM that would work a little better. And this, like, since you're probably never going to flex that tight end because like you're fighting against uh like it's just going to be a lot harder, right, to flex that tight end.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take one of them, you kind of need to hope that that's just the guy. And then adding another top 10 pick to tight end is just going, like, in my mind, going to make your team worse. And if you
I
can,
agree with you. In this format, I definitely think I wouldn't,
yeah,
even in BBMs, like I love my Kittle and Hawkinson, but it's most of the time either or. I was talking to you
right.
about that one draft where I took them both, but that was just
I mean,
specifically because I was drafting that one format and
I
or
mean,
that
I,
one like style or whatever.
just for fun, like in pre-draft, I mean, I did like some Bowers McBride when it came to me, but like, I'm not saying like it's probably not optimal, but like, if that was a unique combo that you were getting there, I fully understand it. But that's something that's probably very doable every draft. But putting that extra capital, like if you add that capital to a wide receiver and then you cut three wide receivers off the end of your roster, so you only need two, and then you take those three spots and make one of them your second tight end, like Zach Ertz, and then two of
Mm-hmm.
them those flyer quarterbacks. Like, since you got boxed out at quarterback, you kind of need to just shotgun, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah, no, I'd
that's
agree
what
with
I
that
would have
on
done
his
differently.
team. Yeah,
Yeah, but like, not
I think.
saying that, like, it, like, not trying to be rude or anything. I think that you understand that. Like, that's just what I would have done. Now,
Mm-hmm.
in 8 months, maybe your team advances and our team is crap. Like, and like I look like a fool. Like,
He's gonna come
that's
back on stream
possible.
and
It's
let us
highly
know.
possible because like we pretty much boxed you out whenever we took Gino, and I knew that we had to take Gino, or I guess it was on the way back around. Like, I think you had the choice. Like, actually go back because
Well, he had took Ward right before there. We took Young, and then
yeah.
he
So
went
like
Hampton
where
and
you took
Ward.
Hampton, you had like you basically like that's
That should
actually
have been
what
the quarterback
yeah, that
right
should have been
there
a
because
quarterback. Like,
he
because
already
like you
had
should have looked
JT. He could have took Argino, or he
right.
could have took Old Man, or he could even went with some
Yeah.
Russian
So
and Richardson or something. And then he
when
could have grabbed another running back here,
right,
in the seventh.
because when we took Bryce Young, I was like, well, we just need one of these three guys to come back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he only took one of them. Well, I knew he only had one to start, so I assumed that they would take two. Now, if like even Anthony Richardson would have felt, and Anthony Richardson went way before he normally does here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but with that being said, the other thing is if you scroll down a little bit, uh, like where Pacheco was, like if I got boxed out like that, I probably just pull up Daniel Jones, call it good. Like, because if that team has
Make sure
Daniel
you get
Jones on it as
somebody.
well,
Yeah.
like I like even if you made the decision to take Hampton over the quarterback, if you add in Daniel Jones, who probably starts some, or Tyler Shuck, I don't know if he was available. No,
No,
they
he went in the eighth.
well, yeah, where Hawkinson went. So like if Hawkinson was Dart or Shuck, like one of
Yeah.
those two needed to happen. Like,
Mm-hmm.
either not take Hampton and take a guy there, or not take one of the tight ends and take Shuck or Dart because you were boxed out. Like, drafting from the edges, you kind of have to like look ahead of what disasters can happen.
Yeah, because it's a long time before it gets back to
Right.
you, and then you're gonna have to. If a lot of times to build a really good team that you feel good about, it does mean you got to reach a little bit here and there to make sure you construct it.
Yeah. Well, I need to get out of here. I got to be up in 5.5 hours. So
I hear you. Mine's not
no,
quite that bad. I got an extra hour on you, but I got to get up at
no,
6 myself.
I,
It
I
was
don't.
fun, man. I enjoyed drafting with you. I
Oh,
enjoyed talking with you in the chats and stuff. Uh, Maybe we can do it again sometime. I'm always down. I'm gonna be drafting all summer.
yeah, yeah. I'll definitely. I'll have you on my channel at some point too. I'm definitely going to switch over to StreamYard at some point as well. Uh, but I
Appreciate you
yeah,
stopping by, Mark.
yeah. So he's saying. I should have had my third quarterback before the eighth round. I fully believe so. Like, and as this contest stays open, those quarterbacks are just going to push up further and further too,
Mm-hmm.
because more people are going to realize that, hey, I'm getting boxed out if I don't do this. So, like, Tyler Shuck isn't going to be available at 98 anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to
Yeah, he'll
start
be
going
up.
at 75. So
Mm-hmm.
the longer this contest is open, the more drastic that's going to be as well. So
Mm-hmm.
while you're doing these early, like, take advantage and just take the better quarterbacks at that point. Like, it's fine to take non-quarterbacks for like three of your first six picks, but you need. I feel like three of them almost have to be a quarterback,
Yeah.
and if they're
I
not, you have to go with like three. Like, you have to spend three late picks on shots.
mm-hmm. I'll be glad starting Friday, my kids will be out of school, and this week has been crazy because it's the week where like they kind of do their tryouts or whatever for the next year's select soccer. Two of my daughters play select soccer, so that's why I'm always busy. I'm always at those damn fields, and
Yeah,
but this week is the week that they all had their tryouts, so we've been up there 3 hours in the afternoon or whatever. But starting Friday, no school, no soccer for 3 months. Just focus on
nice.
best ball.
Yeah, I have none of that. Like I just sit around and chill all day. And
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
saying that that's the right way. Like, that's a better way. Like, I don't.
I
I also
remember
don't
those
get
days, man.
I don't get the
So
positive of the kids either. You know.
the guy on the stream, Mark, me and him's actually been friends for what, Mark, probably like 30 years now. And back when I was single in our 20s, we sat around playing video games all day together. We worked together, play golf together, you name it or whatever. So I remember those days for sure.
Yeah.
But it's fun now. I'm at a different point in life. I'm married and have my kids, and Uh, it was kind of interesting, man. So I told you I have two daughters that play soccer. My youngest daughter is the one that I think takes, she's a really good athlete and she's strong and tall for her age, and she actually got noticed during these tryouts and like the elite level coach because she's only 11 and you don't start playing on the like national teams until you're like 13. But he's always out there like scouting, or whatever. And if he sees girls that he likes, he wants them on certain select teams at this age because he thinks better of those coaches. And they're kind of grooming them, for when
Yeah.
they're 13, 14 and can be on the national team. And my daughter got pulled aside, I guess it was Monday, and she got moved over to this other guy's team from that elite level
Nice.
coach or whatever. So we'll see. She's all excited about it and everything, of
That's
course.
awesome. I hope it works out. That'd be great.
She's really good. She's a good athlete. But anyways, man, I'm gonna get off here too. It was fun. Y'all know who he is, Hoohames. If you're watching my channel, you're probably already subbed to his. But if not, go over there and hit him up. If you're not a Discord person, or if you are a Discord person and you want to get in his Discord, it's really good. Man, I've been impressed with all the different charts and stuff that you put up in there. I've been using your little eliminator chart some where you had those first 6 weeks, mapped out with the Mike Clay projections or whatever on the
Yeah.
side. And
I'm not saying I agree with those projections, but like,
no,
it
no, no,
was
no.
just
There
it's
was
just a
some I
bad.
didn't agree with, and some
Yeah.
just didn't really make sense.
Like
But if
Baltimore.
nothing else, it was nice to look at the actual schedule of the
Right.
first 6 weeks, and kind of, oh, they got a tough ass little schedule. Do I really want to draft a lot of him in the eliminator? Or, oh yeah,
Right.
that team like has a nice little schedule.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. We will absolutely do it again. Uh, I just don't know when. Generally, like, I actually volunteered for overtime for tomorrow. That's the
Mm-hmm.
only reason I have to even leave. But uh, normally weeknights are perfectly fine for me as long as I know in advance.
Yeah,
So
cool. And yeah, once summer's here, like it would be easier for me to hop on sometime at your time also if you wanted to have me over there. During
yeah.
right now, this end of school year, it's just crazy around 4 o'clock. Like I said, I'm at the soccer fields every damn day and picking kids up from school and stuff. But summer's
Oh yeah.
pretty chill. I can tell them to watch a TV in the other room or something and hop on.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on, and I'll see you later.
Yep, anytime, man. Take it easy. Talk to you tomorrow in the chat.
Yep.